on my knees. To the Lord I kneel and pray. My heart and soul beg him to take me through each day. My guardian to keep and my guide over every step I take. He will preside. So whatever my mind conceives that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should. Be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. Courage from above, no man I'll fear, since God protects me with his love. Strong, pure and true, and so sincere, companies I'll always stay to the Lord in prayer. So whatever my mind comes, I will achieve. You better believe, because I do the things I should. Be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on, I gotta reach the top somehow. I'll keep, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on, I gotta reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on. In the morning, I thank God for the morning light. Give him thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night. For the rest of food and loving care, and for my mother's breath of life that's got me here. So whatever my mind can see that I will achieve, you better believe, I do the things I should. Be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. Down on my knees, to the Lord I kneel and pray. My heart and soul beg him to take me through each day. My guardian to keep and my guide over every step I take. He will preside. So whatever my mind conceives that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should. Be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. With strength and courage from above, no
Yes, my straight talk family. The event you are pondering, I am here and I am ready and must apologize for what seemed to be a little tardy start, my straight talk family. But it's time for me to bid you a very pleasant night wherever you are in St. Kitts and Nevis, and to all those around the entire Caribbean region. My straight talk family in the Kittitian and the Vision diaspora, I say greetings to all who are logged on to zizonline.com. There's some of you are in Africa, there's some of you in Asia, there's some of you in Europe, there are a whole lot of you all over North America. So I'm at liberty to say good night. I can't say good morning, and yes, I'm also at liberty to say good afternoon, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, you do have a forum to express yourselves freely. Let's in the process continue to keep St. Kitts and Nevis as one of the freest countries in the entire world. In this program, we try to raise the level of national consciousness. We try to raise the level of national discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly, my straight talk family, to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I give Almighty God thanks for this opportunity. And if you're joining me for the first time, Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national interest, my Straight Talk family, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, we do have a forum to express yourselves freely. Let's in the process continue, as I said before, to keep St. Kitts and Nevis free. My Straight Talk family, first of all, I must tell two of my constituents a very happy birthday. My dear old granny, she don't like me to say that. I'm gonna call her granny. Lady Lillian Brown, right across there in King Street. I think she's 92 years. I stand to be corrected. And I want to wish her a happy birthday, Lady Brown. And of course, Auntie Pauline over there on Pons Pasture. Pauline Mussenden. She's having her, I don't think it's 21st, but she's having a wonderful birthday today. And I know that she has enjoyed herself. I won't tell you what I learned she did, but I want to wish them a happy birthday, and all who are celebrating today, we wish you a happy birthday and many more to come. Since we're short on time, I'm going to go right in the issues. And my Straight Talk family, the last 12 months and more have presented a number of well-publicized and widely criticized crisis situations around the world, including here in the Caribbean and right here in St. Kitts and Nevis, from which I hope and trust we have learned many lessons. You know, when organizations encounter a crisis, the most senior executives are in the spotlight and have responsibility to lead the organization to safe grounds in most cases. So too in a country, especially in these unprecedented times, a leader must take responsibility to guide the nation he leads to what I call the promised land, or in this case, of COVID to safety. My straight talk family. I remember the little bit I know of the Bible. After 40 years of wandering in the desert, the time had finally come for the Israelites to cross into the land that God had promised them. After leading the Israelites out of slavery in Egypt, Moses had led them through the desert all those years. But God had told Moses that he would not be allowed to lead the people into the promised land. Moses then asked Jehovah to choose a new leader to take care of the people. And Jehovah said to him, to Moses, "Go to Joshua and tell him that he is the one." And the biblical scholars who are listening to Straight Talk will know the whole story about the Jordan River, which was flooding. And as soon as the feet of the priests touched the water, the river stopped flowing and the water drained away, and the whole nation of Israel crossed to the other side of the river. So finally, the biblical story tells us that after all those years, the Israelites were in the promised land where they could build houses, they could construct cities, they could plant fields, vineyards and orchards. It was a land flowing with milk and honey, the good book says. And this good book in Isaiah 58 verse 11 says, and I quote, that Jehovah will always lead you and satisfy you even in a parched land. So my Straight Talk family, when I see what is happening, when I look at what is happening in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and I listen to the leader and Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves, having learned of the response of his neighbors in the region to the crisis in his country, he could only shed tears of love for the Caribbean, my Straight Talk family. Tears of love for his Caribbean people.
I've spoken to one of the cruise lines leadership this morning, and I must tell you, the way in which people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and in ordinary people and in Grenada and in Dominica, St. Lucia and Antigua have responded to put people in their homes, strangers, bring tears to my eyes. I love this Caribbean.
My Straight Talk family, I call them tears of love for his Caribbean brothers and sisters. It touched many when Ralph reminded the world that the good Lord requires of us to do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with our God. Walk humbly with our God. I'm sure we'll all agree.
But I want to give you and your viewers, your listeners, the idea as to how we proceed. Every single person who is up there is of value to us. I sent the Coast Guard in the northeastern area on 3 separate occasions for a young man who is 19 years old, who I learned was still up there. And he was not, he has some slight mental challenges, and we got him out. And I told the commander of the Coast Guard on the 3rd occasion when I asked him to go, I said, this young man is a symbol of our humanity. He is a manifestation of our love, our faith, and our hope. Everyone is valuable, and we want to protect and take care of everyone. What does the good Lord require of us? To do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with our God. Whether you're Christian, or Hindu, Muslim, that is the fundamental premise.
The fundamental.
That's a good note to end on, Mr. Prime Minister. We so much for your time.
That is, walk justly, love mercy, walk humbly, I said, my street dog family. And I could not but remind myself, I could not help but remind myself, my street dog family, of our own leader and now Prime Minister, the Honorable Timothy Sylvester Harris, who on January 15, 2013 was prepared to sacrifice his own political career for the good of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis by speaking truth, even my straight dog family, if he had to perish. Do you recall that?
Somebody must be brave enough to speak that basic truth and say, as one brave person said, if I perish in speaking truth to power, I perish. I perish, man. But truth must be spoken. Truth must be spoken. And that is what we are attempting to do, Mr. Speaker. That is what it is, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Yes, my straight dog family. These are leaders. These are leaders that we need today who put lives before livelihood, my straight dog family, in the case of our own leader.
We had a life-first strategy. We remain clear that the first priority of the government, it must be the safety and security of its people and its residents. But it seems, for political purposes, they want to just throw back the door wide open. Let man come back a yard. You will come back a yard in a manner that protects those of us who stood in the yard. We have to have order.
And these, as I said, are the leaders that we need today, especially in these times of crisis. This brings me to our discussion some weeks ago, my straight dog family. When we focus on leadership in St. Kitts and Nevis, and with your indulgence, we examine leadership in business, leadership in the church, and of course, leadership in government. Recall that we considered business leaders who have all made significant contributions to the advancement of business and the economy of St. Kitts and Nevis, along with leaders in the church who have played their part in relation to the spiritual and social uplifting of our people. We also looked at, as I said, leadership in government, and in particular those who helped to influence the behavior of the people of our federation. Recall as well, I made reference to Jerome Tylard, who opined, and I quote, "With good leadership, you can create vision and can motivate people to make it a reality." I also submitted that leadership matters, and today, in these unprecedented and challenging times, it matters more than ever, my street dog family. When we reflected on our past leaders who served in government going back to adult suffrage, there was general consensus that the then associated states of St. Kitts, Nevis, and Anguilla have been blessed with great leaders. We did not spend time on party political leaders unless it can be or it was proven that they made some level of contribution to the building of this our beloved country. We made mention of Ronald Webster, who fought and won the battle for the dignity and pride of the Anguillan people, my straight dog family.
The road we traveled 42 years ago is very long and dreary, and sometimes lonely. For the hearts of the Anguillans, there was a target set and has been accomplished, a free Anguilla. Thank God for that. Prior to 1967, Anguillans were a people drifting on an ocean, seemingly going nowhere, but knowing where they wanted to go. The seas were rough, and Anguillans had a strong will and determination to reach the harbor safely at all costs. We rowed the boat, Miss Anguilla, and the seas, as I said, were rough, but the tide took us exactly where we wanted to go. Ladies and gentlemen, when I got involved in the Anguilla Revolution, seeking a better way of living for our people of Anguilla, it was from a natural instinct led by the power of God. Our 1967 revolution created opportunities for all Anguillans so that they could own their own land, their own homes, their own businesses, and at the same time, they become equal. There were equal opportunities for all, both men and women. No discrimination.
No discrimination whatsoever, my straight dog family. It was about the Anguillan people. Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw, our first national hero and first Premier of St. Kitts and Nevis, made an indelible mark in our history, as he too championed the rights of the poor man and ordinary workers in St. Kitts and Nevis. To many, Bradshaw is considered the father of our independence, my straight dog family. Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw. That's how he was considered, as I said, the father of our beloved Federation, the father of our independence, beg your pardon. That was Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw. As I said, he too would be always remembered for the indelible mark that he made on this country of ours, my straight dog family.
Talk on independence for this state will begin in London on 2nd March 1976 between ourselves and Her Majesty's government. Needless to say, independence, whether as a condition of fact or of mind or of concept, carries a meaning that is inherent in itself. Briefly, independence means being on your own. To be independent means that you are neither dependent upon nor subordinated to anyone. Thus, as we approach the independence which we have freely and deliberately decreed for ourselves, let us be no doubt at all about that which we shall embark upon. For manna will not fall from heaven just like that. Let us face it, knowing that it will demand of us hard work, patriotism, dedication, denial, objectivity, unity, and self-respect. And we must continue to be seen actively to be helping ourselves. Therefore, on this propitious day, let us all as brothers and sisters link arms together and deliberately say, out statehood, in independence.
And men like Caleb Azariah Paul Southwell, our second national hero and first chief minister of St. Kitts, Nevis and Anguilla, was a pioneer in the economic development of this country. Lee Llewellyn Moore, whose stint as Premier of St. Kitts Nevis was short-lived, he never got the opportunity to demonstrate his academic and or other leadership talents he possessed, because he was dogged by the rumors which surrounded the sudden death of Mr. Southwell. And Lee Moore learned the hard way that politics, yes, my stray dog family, politics is a dirty, dirty game, my stray dog family. Lee Moore learned that lesson.
You need, Mr. Speaker, because we say, where is the paper? You need now to talk about the memory of Mr. Southwell. That is what you need to do. The very people who claim to be champions of Mr. Southwell. But Mr. Southwell is dead, and dead men need no defense. But Mr. Speaker, we are alive here, and that is the point. And honorable members on the government benches are alive. Mr. Southwell is dead. Dead men need no defense, and I have no intention of defending dead men.
No intention, my Chicago family, of defending dead men, according to Lee Moore. But he learned the hard way, as I said, that politics is a dirty game. So Kennedy Simmons, our only living national hero, my straight dog family. So Kennedy Simmons, who headed the first coalition of parties on St. Kitts and Nevis, my straight dog family. So Kennedy Simmons headed the PAM NRP coalition government in 1980, which lasted for 15 long years, during which time the when of independence was determined, and he became our first Prime Minister, the first Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis.
In December of 1979, a conference was held in London, at which it was decided that St. Kitts and Nevis would proceed to independence in 1980, and that there would be a referendum 18 months after independence in which the issue of secession for Nevis would be put to the vote. I note, Mr. Speaker, that even though a decision had already been taken about proceeding to independence in 1980, the people of this country were presented with no constitutional proposals, nor was the matter of Anguilla's separation finally settled, nor was the concurrence of Nevis obtained for the independence decision. When, therefore, Mr. Speaker, in February of 1980, the people participated in a general election, the issue was not whether the country would become independent, but when and how. Would it be the circumstances in which the people of both islands had no concept of the constitutional provisions, or in which Nevis was dragged into independence protestingly like an unwilling bride to the altar? No, Mr. Speaker. The election of 1980 determined that the country would become independent after
Not before, Mr. Speaker, after the people of this country would have had the opportunity to study constitutional proposals and offer comments and suggestions.
My Straight Talk family, Sir Simeon Daniel, the founder and leader of the Nevis Reformation Party, on the other hand, was the undisputed architect of the Nevisian, or rather, I should say, of modern Nevis, my Straight Talk family.
About 4 years ago, serious negotiations started between Jumes and the Nevis Island administration on the possibility of the construction of an upmarket hotel along the same lines that the Inns of Nevis were promoting. It was just over 2 years ago that negotiations were completed, and I was engaged in the groundbreaking ceremony where I laid the first stone to commence the construction of this magnificent, luxurious resort. That was an historic moment in industry in Nevis, because we had just opened the gate of golden opportunity in this country. Today, we have just entered the gate, and here we are with a 196-room hotel being operated by the ultimate in the operation of luxury resorts throughout the world. And I'm referring to none other than the illustrious company, Four Seasons.
Yes, the architect of modern Nevis. Vance Emery came after Sim Daniel and took Nevis to a higher level by simply putting the interests of people first.
Fellow citizens, I make these statements to ensure that all of you are fully aware that this party does not act from emotion, nor do we act without giving due consideration to as wide a view of the situation as possible. We believe in looking to the future, not being wise after the fact. We believe that where there is no vision, the people perish. We have built this party on a philosophy of putting the people first, but also of ensuring that there is adequate thought put into all decisions, getting a wide discussion and involvement from the people. Fellow citizens, this party has always put the interests of the people first. And in this situation, CCM has put the interests of the people of Nevis above personal aggrandizement of any individual or individuals. I believe that political leaders will have to be prepared to take action which is not just expedient, but which shows a measure of foresight and forward planning for the good of the greatest number in their country, not just for party members and supporters or to satisfy the egos of a few persons.
My Straight Talk family, no wonder why Vance Emery subsequently became the voice of balance and reason in the Team Unity administration. Joseph Parry, on the other hand, as Premier, stood firm in the representation of his Nevisian people, even against the strong and mighty investor, believe it or not. A Straight Talk family.
I said that the Four Seasons was withholding money for us that they hold in trust, and that I am going to next week. I am going to find out if they paid, and if they have not paid, I will give them 48 hours to pay. And if they did not pay, we will take action, like cutting their water and electricity, etc., etc. I understand the sum is $50,000 US. This is what the head of the Treasury is telling me. In addition to that, and I did not even know this, they were holding up property taxes. And my understanding is that they owe up to $200,000 US in property taxes to the government. And we all know if you stand up to the hotel, they will respect you, and they will do what they know they have to do. And this is exactly what has happened. The point is this: the hotel must respect the government, the hotel must respect the country, and the hotel must respect the people of the country, and they must not presume that they can hold the government to ransom at any time or blackmail the government. And I would think any right-thinking person would not stand for that.
Not at all. That was the position of the strong premier, my straight dog family. Mark Brantley, the current premier of Nevis, the Honorable Mark Brantley, and member of the Team Unity Cabinet, never shies away from defending his people and speaking on behalf of Nevis, especially during this period of COVID, my straight dog family.
I will tell you on the island of Nevis, I can speak only for Nevis at this point. We have identified agriculture. We will shortly be outlining some new initiatives for construction. We have to look at our financial services sector. Nevis has in recent years, I think in the last year, licensed a new offshore bank, international bank, which appears to be doing well in terms of hiring. We have sanctioned another bank, the Bank of Nevis International, has new investors and new owners. In citizenship by investment, that is not something that is impacted negatively by COVID. That is another area that I think that we need to do more in terms of filling the gap, so to speak. So I've identified citizenship by investment, financial services, construction, agriculture as potential areas that we are looking at even now.
What about our second Prime Minister? What about the Right Honourable Dr. Denzil Llewellyn Douglas, our longest serving Prime Minister, who I opine meant well and did well in his early days, or the early days of his prime ministership. But I submit that Douglas lost his way, and many political pundits said it was because of something called the power of incumbency that framed his mind to accept no responsibility for crime, that spiraled out of control under his watch. Also, our national debt, which nearly crippled our federation. Denzil Douglas inherited the property of our people, our heritage, our patrimony, the land. He eventually swapped for a humongous national debt. His government accumulated over 20 years in office. Under his watch, people were still using bottle lamp and candle. Believe it or not, my straight dog family. That's a legacy of that administration and that leadership, I should say.
Nobody's supposed to be living in modern St. Kitts and Nevis and are talking about they have bottle lamp and they have all kind of candle in the house. That have to stop.
It never did. Because people used the bottle lamps and candles because they just could not pay those high electricity bills under the Douglas administration.
Comrades, there are some issues that we have to tackle. One of the issues is the high cost of electricity. My mother, when I see some people bills, I want to cry. And me ain't gonna say it's because the what list. I believe it is because things were hard. And I empathize. And we got to do something about that.
Yes, confession, things were hard under the Douglas regime. Pit latrines were still prevalent under the Douglas leadership. Worse yet, after closing the 300-year-old sugar industry, he failed miserably to equitably or fairly compensate many sugar workers who toiled all their lives in that industry. There was one worker I will always remember. He called in to my program one day. And I can tell you, this man went to his grave a sad, sad man.
I am Joseph Hershey. So, Mr. Patil, I am a farmer sugar worker. And when they paid the money, I had a problem because they owed me $1,500 for 55 years. Servicing the sugar industry. So my problem was that I didn't get the right pay. $1,500.
And yes, my Straight Talk family, we know by now it was Team Unity, the Team Unity administration, and Dr. Harris, leader, in his first bilateral meeting with the president of Venezuela, got $16,000 to pay those workers their owed severance monies. But when we reflect as a federation, my Straight Talk family, from whence we came, many have concluded that our current leader and Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Sylvester Harris, came to the fore at the right time in our history. But on Straight Talk, my family, everyone has their view. Everyone is allowed to express his or her view. Like this outspoken member of the Straight Talk family who had this to say, who gave his opinion according to him on the leaders.
I listen to your assessment of the so-called leaders, and you were pretty close. In my opinion, though, this is my opinion, the best leader we had was Paul Southwell of Dominica, followed by Thatcher, though he was somewhat of a dictator, followed by Simmons. Even though Simmons, he broke up the state and would have made a fighting squad in some areas in the world, including America. Now, Dr. Harris is going to be up there with them, but Dr. Harris is still a work in, progress. So we'll have to see what happens when he finishes second term or third term, and then we'll be able to think. Okay? But Simmons would have been tried for treason.
Not one, obviously, who mince words, who mix matters. So he continued with his opinion, my Straight Talk family, which went like this.
The two most despicable leaders we had was Limor and, of course, Denzel Llewellyn Douglas. Okay? The two most despicable persons. Parry and Grantley, once you stay away from the tribalism, they could be good leaders too in their own right. Once Grantley stay away from the tribalism that he pushes. Okay?
The Straight Talk family, everyone has their view on Straight Talk. Everyone has their opinion. What is your opinion, my Straight Talk family, on this leadership matter, my Straight Talk family? As I said to you, some leaders bring tears to their eyes, my Straight Talk family.
I've spoken to one of the cruise lines leadership this morning, and I must tell you the way in which people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and in ordinary people and in Grenada and in Dominica, St. Lucia and Antigua have responded to put people in their homes, strangers, bring tears to my eyes. I love this Caribbean.
Yes, the Straight Talk family. The Caribbean is a lovely place. We do have great leaders as well. I've tarried long, but I needed to put this out because I've been badgered with a lot of questions about continuing this discussion. So I thought I would oblige tonight and hear from you, because because you are the ones who make Straight Talk. So I'll open the lines, my Straight Talk family. I started a bit late. Yes, I do apologize for that. But I needed to put this leadership matter into its proper context. And I hope I did. It's 8:09. I will now hear from you. I'll open the lines, and before I do, it is always an imperative that I implore you to respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned. Let us try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let us ensure, my Straight Talk family, that the things we say and or do will be beneficial to all concerned. Let us in the process as well ensure that in saying those things and doing those things, we will as well strive to build the kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. Things are difficult, and some leaders may not have experienced what is happening today and may be judged differently, my Straight Talk family. But in all we say and do, we must have leadership. And as I said in the beginning, when organizations encounter crisis, the CEO or the most seniors become in the spotlight and have the responsibility to lead the organization to recovery, to safe grounds. So too in a country, especially in these unprecedented times, leaders must take full responsibility to guide the nation he or she leads through the promised land, and in this case of COVID, and the difficulties that have derived from COVID, especially in the area and context of health, to keep us safe, my Straight Talk family. And I raise the story about those wanderers in the desert. At 9:06, I go to the lines and take my call for calling you live.
Hello.
Call. The lines are open, my Straight Talk family. Let's go back to the lines. Call you live.
Hi, a most pleasant good night to you, Mr. Liburd. How are you doing?
Yes, my dear.
Okay, this is Pat. I'm going to stray away a little bit from your topic tonight. I just want to say to the people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, a pleasant good night. And I'm asking, yes, and I'm asking you all, like my grandmother used to say, what hurt I make nose run, and with no exception to St. Vincent and the other places that already had the volcano erupt. And we are facing so many troubles in this world, so many disasters and different things are going on. And so I'm just asking the people in the Federation of Kitts and Nevis and around the world who are hearing my voice, help us, ask the Lord to help us to be some Paul and Silas from Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Help us to do more praying than what stressing and murmuring about what's taking place. Help us to pray more. We need to pray more, because if you look at every day, is something different in disaster, and we are no exception to what's taking place. So tonight I'm asking for prayer for not just for St. Vincent alone, for all around, because we are surrounded with disasters. Okay? And to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, may the Lord bless you all, may the Lord keep you all. And I say to you, Mr. Liburd, may the Lord bless you, may the Lord continue to let his face shine upon you. And to the Prime Minister of St. Kitts, Prime Minister, continue to do what you're doing in the interest of the people who put you there. Okay? Each and every one, whether they're for you or they ain't for you, Patricia is asking you to look out for your country. I love you dearly. God bless you all. And let's pray without ceasing. Thank you, Mr. Liburd.
Thank you, my dear sister in St. Thomas from Roxborough Street, warrior from the east. And you're so right, we have to pray. And we have to be minded that the good Lord requires us, my Stray Dog family, to do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with our God. And this is what Prime Minister Gonzalez said as well. And that really touched me when he said this.
But I want to give you and your viewers, your listeners, the idea as to how we proceed. Every single person who is up there is of value to us. I sent the Coast Guard in the northeastern area on 3 separate occasions for a young man who is 19 years old, who I learned was still up there. And he was not, he has some slight mental challenges. And we got him out. And you know, I told the commander of the Coast Guard on the 3rd occasion when I asked him to go, I said, this young man is a symbol of our humanity. He is a manifestation of our love, our faith, and our hope. Everyone is valuable. And we want to protect and take care of everyone. What does the good Lord require of us? To do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with our God.
Yes, walk humbly with our God. And my Stray Dog family, the leadership is what matters. Let's go back to the lines. Call your line. Hello, caller.
Good night to the Ambassador Ian Patches Liburd representing us out in the United Nations. Patches, you there? Yes. Now, Patches.
How are you, my brother?
Oh my, I love your opening.
The whole world is hearing you.
Yeah, I love your opening statement, man. I love your opening statement. Because to put a culture, Dr. Ian Patches Liburd, man. You could be a top journalist in the world, man. They ain't doing nothing, you know. You could go any part of the world, go to journalism because you got the facts. You make sure you got your facts. Anyway, Patches, I just want to say, get well greetings, get well going out to my brother Culture over there in Lodge. I want to wish him all the best. And Madam Joan, I know he's a fighter, and we got to give him credit because he's one who caused this unity to be here. We fought long for it, Patches, and we got to continue to do the good works for the people of this Federation of St. Nevis. Up to the Patches, when he was in town, and I met a Rasta man, a guy, he told me that politics come here. Well, I'm going to be 62 soon, you know. And brother, let me tell you something. All years I'm working for government. And half of what I'm going to get. Politics between me and you know. The first payment, you know. Brother, people like you and Culture and Jump Down and others. But we got to respect her, you know. We got to respect you all. Because you all caused this to happen in 2015. You are a rally. And you are a hypocrite. And turning your back on this government and the country. So, Patches, yeah, man. When I listen to some radio talk show and some radio and the social media and all these Patches, I suffer with pressure now. from 2017. Doctor put me from pressure pills. From since I was suffering with migraine. And I tell you plain, I want to thank God for straight talk. And I want to thank God for like when I mean this station out in is Van Radio, ZIZ, and all them through social media, I mean them radio station who spread the gospel and just bring the gospel and spread the message around. I just want to thank God for them. And I believe that them are the only radio station or talk show thing we're going to listen to. Because Patches, I cannot take on these propaganda going on in the Confederation of St. Nevis. Patches, my friend them call me from overseas and ask me if Sinky turn up, if they can shoot me down there again. The way they hear some people from the radio station attack and going on. Some of them talk show hosts and some of them hood up and talk show. But Patches, 2015, I know that how I fight and I work and I call in and I do whatever, demonstration, protest and do whatever. Some people give up after they went to England. Some people give up and said that plain. They're coming back on the radio again because politics of the devil. I done with politics. You understand? And now to hear these people come back now praising up the unity and say that Patches, that the 2015 election, what the COVID shut down. That we could not go to a campaign, we could have called him on the radio, and that the political meet them virtually. So Patches, people went out to vote on the 2000 election, and the performance of the unity government in the 2020. People know what because nobody talk and nobody this and nobody that. People went out to work on the performance of the government. Look at all of there. The people die around here. So Patches, when I listen to some people, right, who say they were supporting unity, and now they're talking all kind of rubbish. But Patches, not where Astafan, nobody gonna come put nothing in the head. I mean, not gonna meet me with them and gonna turn me against not Mark Bradley, not Dr. Harris, not Sean Richard. None of them gonna turn me against them. Because these are the people them who sacrificed themselves to come together 2015 to join with Dr. Harris and Brother Sean Richard to form this unity government, whether PLP didn't let seat or whatsoever. Dr. Harris has sacrificed himself to come over from the Labour Party and do what he got to do. And Patches, we must respect that. But reality and gratefulness was on his craft. And this put-tongue, twist-tongue, bend-up-tongue, go-tongue, all kind of tongue, Patches, I can't go with them. So listen to ZIZ, and Van Radio and them station I go listen to, and I know what to listen to on social media. Because I don't want to hear not one of them. Patches, you're wonderful, God bless.
Have a wonderful night as well, my brother. And yes, you're right, in terms of recounting what actually happened that got us there. But it's 9:05, and we go back to the lines. Caller, you're live.
Yes, Mr. Patrick, good night.
Yes, call you live.
And how are you? Mr. Patrick?
My dear brother, how art thou?
I'm great.
I am peaceful. Yourself?
Yeah, my peaceful too. Mr. Patrick, I want to say something tonight here. You get up is God. You walk, it is God. And I want to say tonight, today I was listening the news in some of these big countries, and they got locked down. And you know what they're saying? They are saying they want the vaccine, they want the vaccine. And when I listen to them, then I say to myself, my God, and think it's people playing around with the vaccine when other big countries are calling for the vaccine. They have to send a shipment to a big country. But listen, I am going to say something, you know. God, angry with the wicked every day. And the word of God said, if he don't turn, he will wet his sword. The word of God continued to say, there is no peace to the wicked. And when me hear them, I said to myself, boy, they're not at peace. But I am saying to the whole world tonight, it is one thing, you got to be born again. Jesus will tell Nicodemus, more than that I say unto you, you must be born again. And I am saying this long and hard, Mr. Patrick. When Jesus come for the whole world, you can't get a liar there. You can't get a magistrate there. God is going to be everything. And when you do what is right, you and God. Because when you say depart from me, I know you not. Mr. Patrick, all I'm wishing you that every single day that you will continue to give God thanks and praise. He is my sustainer. And whatever I want, I'm going to get by the grace of God. So, I don't take on people because all what done for Christ will last. Mr. Patrick, have a pleasant night. And so, you see, a lot of people don't know in Proverbs chapter, tell you, get a life in your tongue. And what you say, and what you going to get. So when things come back and haunt them, they did not know they said these things. So they continue. And what? Haman will build a gallows for Mordecai. And the walking building gallows for the prime minister. And so the same gallows when they will walk a bill for the prime minister, and the same gallows they're going to be hang on. So Mr. President, good night. Have a pleasant night.
Have a pleasant night as well. I call him the Bible man, John, and you're so correct, you know. And we all must appear before the judgment seat of Christ. And the good book says we may be recompensed for the things we have done. And trust me, the Bible man is correct. We can't call no witnesses, just you and God. Caller, your life.
Pastor, good night.
Are you there, caller?
Yes, Pastor, I'm here. Good night, Pastor.
Good
you
night,
could hear me?
my dear warrior from the east.
Yes, Miss Unity.
Night. How are you?
Good night to everyone. Culture, good night. I hear you calling out all the birthday, but I want to say good night. Happy birthday to Miss Baptiste, Mommy. I don't know if it's tonight or tomorrow, but it's sometime this week. I think she's making either 93 or something. I ain't sure, but Miss Baptiste, good night. I know she's listening, Patsy, and she looks strong, you know. That lady going strong. My mother was the last, and my mother done pass. She's the oldest
only one now out of all
Ivy
her mother
Baptiste?
children alive. Strong,
Ivy?
Patsy, she look very strong. So say happy birthday to her. That she said she and your mother were friends. She listening. No, Patsy? Patsy, the dear?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Good
yes.
night. Good night, Prime Minister, and good night to everybody. Patsy don't want to say
Yes, we listen to
something.
you.
Prime Minister Harris, he ain't putting no gun to nobody's neck to tell them take the vaccine. He's saying what the whole world saying. Take the vaccine before it's too late, or before maybe in time come you have to pay for it. I hear somebody on the radio talking, saying about how if the Prime Minister want a lasso and he's forcing people to take the vaccine. He ain't forcing nobody, the world begging, that's the job. He's supposed to protect the people, saying it's Nevis. People who live in America, they got half in a hospital, they could move from one hospital to the next, and Joe Biden could print millions of dollars to take care of them, but the Prime Minister cannot do that. Just look how some of us say we is Christian, and we're going to go out and tell somebody, oh, give your life to Christ. And then if the person going to say, I ain't ready yet, they're going to say, okay, do it before it's too late. That's the same thing the Prime Minister begging people. You know? I mean, I don't want to never one time they call and say, okay, the Prime Minister, whoever handling this thing very well, give him a little credit. Every time they're just listening to when somebody to say something and going after the Prime Minister. Prime Minister, if you want an extra bodyguard, call me. I'm available. Because none of them want to give you no credit when credit due. Okay? And none of them going to bring down this team unity government. It's never easy to get there. Patches, Alice and Dumpling does laugh and say, ha, ha, ha. But I will say, good governance from wilderness to progress. Prime Minister, good night and keep on doing your job. You're very good. God bless you. And who don't like what I say, too bad for you. Patches, have a safe night. Get back in. Unless some people shorten their talk because they're talking too long. The short. Bye, Patches. I let the Prime Minister alone.
True.
Bye.
True. Thank you very much. And I'm making this oversight all the time. I must hail up my brother culture. Joan, hail culture for me. Right? And yes, Ivy Baptiste, whenever it's your birthday, yes, she was my mother's good friend. Ivy, I'll come see you and we'll celebrate. Caller, you're live.
Yes, good evening, Honorable. Tonight, tonight I want to say something, and I hope I ain't offend nobody, right? Now, when Team Unity come together, they know the crisis what the Federation was in. And they went, three of them together, Mark Brantley, Sean Richards, and the Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Harris. And they sit down and they walk out the mat. And they form a coalition called Unity. And the thing is working. But you got some people, we just went to an election. You understand? We just went to an election. And all in a sudden they're on the radio saying, no, they're breaking up and this one ain't doing this and that one ain't doing that. Patches was down in Sunny Point when you heard the Prime Minister said that he will like Sean to be the Prime Minister in the church. You understand me? And the minister in the church also turned around and said, are you hear what King Rockefeller said? Or you must stay in all your lane. But all in a sudden, they put in these people against one another. You know, and they need to stop. The election don't come and go, and the election around the corner. But you look how you ain't bitter with what you got you. You ain't bitter at all. You know, a lot of them need to stop and giving the impression like, well, the Prime Minister, Sean and Mark Brantley giving them things to say. They need to done with it. You know, they need to done with it. You know, they need to stop it. It do not sound good in the Federation, and it don't sound good outside there. Because there's nothing happening but progress in this country. You think Mark Brantley and them is stupid? You think the Honorable Sean is stupid? You think the Prime Minister is stupid? They know what they went through, and they ain't going back to that. You know, the thing is working. Give the thing a chance to work. Every day on the radio, talking a lot of bull. Both this thing, and they got to talk to me, and I got to be the advisor, and this and that, and nothing gonna happen. You understand me? They need to done with it. And it takes Sean too to tell them what I have to say. It takes the Prime Minister and it takes Mark Brantley to tell them what I have to say. That the thing is working. Now, Patrick, let's go now to the vaccination. Now, they have a thing going on down at Port John today, where I don't know where. When I question it, the people in Port John said they ain't giving no permission for no band to play in there. But band playing there every weekend. And when they're done, they start to fight and all that. Nobody got on a mask. Nobody doing nothing. You understand me? And the fact remains, how am I going to go and take the vaccination when he could get up, he put on the clothes, nothing, and go down Port John to go jam and wine? It's like business as usual. It's like Juba morning down there on a Friday night. You understand me? You know, and nobody doing nothing about it. I heard one of them from the thing. I talked to Mr. Samuels and many police and things concerning down there, and it seems nobody care. You understand me? I hear one of the police who in charge of the task force said that they give what? 75 permission to keep fit. 75 permission to keep fit. In a COVID scene like this, because nobody taking the vaccine, but you giving them permission to keep dance and keep all kind of thing. Man, let us get the act together. You understand? I wonder if they think they're going to stretch out this government. You understand me? They're going to left behind, you know. The Prime Minister don't tell them what he's saying, and they better listen. They better listen. They ain't going to stretch out this government, you know. Okay. Patrick, if I got to come back, I got to come back. Good night, brother. And good night to my beloved Prime Minister. Brother Culture, God bless you. I'm glad to hear you home.
Good night, my brother.
You know, thank you.
Okay, just one correction though. The three leaders were in fact Sean Richards, Timothy Harris, and Vance Amory. And I don't know if some of us, even some though who should know, are saying the right things. But this is something what happened. And Mark Brantley said this some time ago. I want to play it for the benefit of provided information.
We have sat down, people with disparate views and visions, and we have come together because we have coalesced around a common principle that this country is bigger than any of us. And so that notion of who's going to lead and all of that, that came about from long discussion, long analysis of the various positions. We were of a view that with the CCM being in office at the NIA level, that there was, if you will, a need to focus some attention on Nevis, which clearly requires a tremendous amount of work after the debacle of the last 6.5 years. And so we felt that having sat down, having looked at this, and having looked at all the scenarios, including us getting all 3 seats, which now appears very likely on Nevis, that we felt that Dr. Harris was best placed to lead the effort in that.
Harris was best placed to lead the efforts in that unity arrangement. Let's go back to the lines. Straight Talk family, It's 21 past the 9 o'clock hour. You are live, caller. Okay, but in fact, I've lost that caller. Let's take this caller. Caller, you live. Yes, caller, you live.
Yes.
Caller, just tell me.
Good evening, Honorable Patrick. Still waiting on the thing, then?
Just turn your radio off. Yes, turn your radio off. You
Yes, I'm still waiting on the thing, then.
Yes, I've heard you. Are you there?
I am with it. I wanted to know if I could get a paper.
Did you call her?
To get a paper to go. But when they say no, that it's only for wife or children or brother or sister could go. But all kind of people could come in the country in the night. I hope you have that with it and everything for them that they can stay here. Because when you look at it, our country accepting a lot of people and other countries refusing us. So we have to do what we got to do. Yes. And looking at the lights on the road, we wanted to know when you are going to open the lights things. And I seen on the road by Rams where the line be, they're digging out there to do something. To pallet of black, I see up there. Oh, what they do doing, I don't understand. Yeah. You have a blessed night, but looking at the newspaper, the Observer newspaper, looking at Honorable Mark Bradley, Honorable Timothy, and Sean, they're holding on together, and you are always telling us that we must say 6 feet. But they're supposed to say 6 feet too. Yes. And you have a blessed night. Take care.
Have a blessed night as well, my dear. No one can refute your position. Physical distancing, that's recommended, is a what they call non-pharmaceutical approach to getting rid of the COVID, or to protect us rather against the COVID-19 pandemic. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live.
Yeah, Patrick, Megan.
Yes, caller.
You see people like Dora Astafan? I just speak to him, he call out to me. But you see, he is one who wants to stabilize the unity government. And he wanted to get rid of Dr. Harris politically. You understand? But I'm not going to read out the Dora Astafan book. Because I got sufficient common sense in this federation of St. Kitts and Nevis to know how politics go. Dora Astafan was a minister of government already under the Dr. Douglas regime, and a lot of things went on under him. And when me certain people said that I had meet me Dwyer Astafan, I had to meet me Dwyer Astafan, and talking about Nevis to the prime ministership and whatever this and whatever that. Talking like the country unstable, something going on here. You understand? But I call in on the good citizens of this country. I don't let propaganda run this country down. I don't let propaganda get this unity government out of office. This government is working for people I don't know, a million years. People were talking, I saw all the people come on the boat, how much money they got, how much this they got, how much that they got. You understand? Patrick, me is a hard working man. I work hard for myself. And I don't want to think for my soul politically. You understand? I'm working hard for myself. I'm with this unity government, and I got to talk for this unity government because I want this country to go forward. Dr. Harris, he's doing a wonderful job as a leader. When the time comes, if he want, when he run in the next election again and we win his seat, and he want to be behind Sean Richard or Mark Bradley or whoever, because nobody up to now, nobody know who will win the seat. Because election, according to Dr. Simmons, election is people who going to vote and who they vote for. You understand? So we got to just take it easy and see this country move forward with a unity government. Just trying to be stable because of the political whatever they get from the government or wherever disagreement them and Dr. Harris in. But we ain't want that. Me and them don't want that. Me and them don't want to country and culture and others don't want that. And Dumpling don't want that. We want and Alice don't want that. And my friend Nevis should have called me every day don't want that. They want to see a unity government going forward in this country. Because my friend them in Nevis to tell me plain politics. By no joke, you know. By Nevis well look after, you know. Politics this and politics that, you know. We want to see a unity government. And the captain of the ship is doing a wonderful job. Wonderful job. So all who want to be stable and say this because they got money and they don't care if Douglas get back in there because they got this and they got that. That is not me, no. Not me. What that man has done to this, especially our land in this country, oh, that is not me, buddy. If I hear Dr. Douglas in government tomorrow, at any time you think it's going to block out, I'm going to die. That is again, you have a wonderful God. The corona got to kill me because he was on corona. All right, then, Patches.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. The wages of sin is death, so please don't die. It's now some 28 past the 9 o'clock hour. We are going straight back to the lines. Caller, you live.
Night.
Yes, caller.
A pleasant good evening, Patches. Marsha here. Patrice.
Right. How are you, Marsha?
Oh, I'm blessed and moving on smoothly.
How are you?
I'm wonderful, Patches. I'm wonderful. I went to church. We had a wonderful church
strong
on Sunday with the Prime Minister, Dr. Timothy Harris.
Okay.
And you know,
he's strong.
You know what I like about this man? He put God first in everything he do. He's the first Prime Minister I see go to church so often because he's a God-fearing man. And from the east to the west to the north to the south, he is well loved by this Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. People love the Prime Minister. You know why they love the Prime Minister? Because he have a clean heart and clean hands, and he loves people. And he shall not be moved. Prime Minister Harris, he is doing a tremendous job. And I said what I said last time, that so far we have no deaths from the COVID. No deaths. And he's doing wonderful. Right now I have my brothers and my sister. My brother and my sister in quarantine. My kids are in quarantine for 2 weeks. And they're enjoying it. And you know something, Patches? You have people all over the world are saying, kiddos to my Prime Minister, because he know what he's doing. Because this COVID, we have no death in St. Kitts. And he's taking care of St. Kitts. And other people, I have a friend in England, I don't want to call her name, she's saying, Marsha, give me your Prime Minister, because your Prime Minister is doing a good job. And I said, Patrice, the country is running good, and as people say, let the church roll on. Let the church roll on, and I can't wait for this virus to go. See, the real team unity, for the real Timothy Harris, because I know he have good things in store for this federation, Patrice. Long live Team Unity. Long live Dr. Timothy Sylvester Harris. And I'm not afraid to say that I am a member, I am an Orange Lady, I'm a member of the PLP, the People's Labour Party. That's why our motto is we put people first. Patrice, you have a good night, and you get home safe. I'm over my grief still. I'm on grieving state still, but I will get you. Death is of we all are dead one of these days. God will call everybody home. But I just want to say, Patrice, you get home safe. And no weapon formed against my Prime Minister, Dr. Timothy Harris, shall prosper in Jesus' name. Have a pleasant good night.
Have a good night as well, and be strong, Sister Marsha. As I said before, death is just a process. Let's go back to the lines. Call you live.
Greetings in the name of our great African ancestors, especially the most honorable Marcus Caribbean Queen and Zing. God blessed evening, my beloved African brother. How are you, the family?
Peaceful, my brother. You and your family?
Good man, good man. The clan is good, beloved.
Yes, brother.
Beloved,
You're peaceful.
talking about, you see, brother, I've been saying for a very long time, some people will never, ever change their evil ways. So I could forget about that. So for the politics, don't give yourself the headache with those people, man. That's why I don't really mention them no more like that, you know. Brother, we have a country, man. We have a country and our people. And things are going good all because COVID, you know, man. But we can see back the COVID very, very soon, beloved. And we have a good administration. I mean, in everything they do, I agree with. But most of the things, about 90% of the things that this administration do, I agree with. And we got a good leader, you know, good leader, beloved. I mean, when they need some verbal fire, I just blaze it. And I didn't want you but the patches from day one. That's how I gonna be. And I got to be consistent. But you see, our beloved country, beloved, some people will rather see St. Kitts Nevis sink if they can mismanage it, like how they used to mismanage it from 1995 to 2015. And brother, I am telling you, I hope, I'm 62 years old, brother, and I don't never ever want to see the boy from St. Paul's and his evil empire, beloved, no time, next 50 years, well, that time I don't make my transition. Don't want to see them around, man. Come on. These people been there for 20 years, torturous years, bring St. Kitts and Nevis, bring a bankruptcy, give away our lands that our African ancestors' blood is in those lands, beloved, is in those soils, beloved. Have no damn respect for our ancestors and just give away things like, you know, willy-nilly to all kind of people and left our poor people there, beloved. Just give them some little piece of land. You can't even go nothing in your backyard or nothing like that. And then they give all the criminals Stanford and others, beloved. All kind of things. Bring in all kind of people. Waste $1.5 billion from his sales of passport. Everybody know how I stand on that. It was for me. I know it was the People's Action Movement bringing the thing, but he do all kind of crap with it, beloved. I don't support the sales of passport. It is what it is, beloved. Look at the rundown, man, that there are with all kind of things in St. Kitts. Infrastructure is you, brother, under your stewardship, man, that bring back things, brother, on board, beloved. And see, beloved, listen, those people, they mean no good, man, and they're supposed to be persona non grata. That's a Latin, or you're man of Latin. That means they shouldn't be welcome, beloved, brother. Shouldn't be welcome in a no community and mean they don't ban there. But you see, when you got evil people, man, you're supposed to keep them far from good people, man. Let them rot in their evil ways, beloved brother, because they have no love for their people, no love for St. Kitts Nevis, beloved. And this is an administration who cares about poor people. That's why I support them, beloved. And as long as they continue in that road, I'm going to support them, beloved. When they do certain things that, you know, contrary Well, I blaze the verbal fire under them, and who mad ball of it. Because for me, my people come first and foremost, and I love my country. Regardless of what people say about I live up here and live there, you know, and it was my intention to be out here, but Robert Bradshaw and his gang changed that, but I'm glad I came out here, beloved. Beloved, continue to listen. Keep up the great works, Pan-Africanism and Paris. One love, my dear beloved.
Okay, got you, my brother. Yes, one love, my dear brother. It's 23 before 10 o'clock. I'm going to take as many calls as possible, so I'll go straight back to the lines without tarrying. Call you live. Yes, caller? Hello, caller? Yes, caller, you're live. Okay, we seem to be having some difficulty with that line. Let's see if you got caller live. Yes, caller. Okay, well, are you there? Okay, we seem to have some difficulty with that call, but in the event you have just joined us, my straight dog family, we are looking at the leadership in these times of difficulty and the unprecedented times when we need this leadership. Caller, you're live. Yes, caller? Hello, caller? Okay. And in the event you've just joined us, as I said, the last 12 months and more has presented a number of well-publicized and widely criticized crisis situations around the world, including the Caribbean and right here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And I'm sure I've learned quite a lot of lessons from these situations. And in crisis management, when organizations encounter crisis or a crisis, you find the CEOs thrown into the spotlight and expected to shoulder the responsibility to lead the organization to recovery or to safe grounds, whatever it may be. And so too, in a country, especially in these unprecedented times, leaders or a leader must take full responsibility to guide the nation he or she leads to the promised land, I call it, or in this case, to safety. Caller, you're live.
Oh, Patrice, me again, I did forget this one.
Hello, caller.
Good night, Marsha, here again. Patrice, you there?
Yes, good night.
Hello?
Yes,
okay.
You're live, Marsha.
Never before, Patrice, I forget to address this matter. Never before.
Yes, Marsha, you're live.
Okay, yeah. Never before we had a prime minister like Dr. Timothy Harris doing what he's doing. Imagine this man taking time out his busy schedule at Tuesday night to have leadership matters. All these things, his attributes, all these things. We got to love him for, and people in St. Kitts got to thank God for the prime minister, because every Tuesday night he come with different topic, leadership matters, and these kind of things. Look at it. How this man is the most improved prime minister that ever touched down in St. Kitts. We are still getting paid every month. We are still getting paid every month. And patches this $500 from the pop, where he does be paid every month to the here. We got to thank God for this team unity government, you know, because nowhere are paying this money. Nowhere in the Caribbean are paying this money. So I've come back to say tonight that we all have to give God thanks for a caring Prime Minister like Dr. Timothy Harris. No salary has been cut. Every month civil servants are getting the full salary when other people in Caribbean salary has been cut. We are getting with full salary every month. Every month people go to the bank and want to see the long line for the $500 a pop. And these kind of things we have to give God thanks for a Prime Minister like he. The man is a caring man. Patrick, I feel like I want to cry because he's the best Prime Minister ever touched down in St. Kitts who has been doing all these things. And thank God for the team unity government because we're in a devil island. And thank God. Thank God for Timothy Harris. I'm not praising him up alone. Thank God for the team unity government. Patches, you contributed to this too. Because when you drive across Old Road Bay, you can see this Old Road. There's so many accidents, so many people lost their life on Old Road Bay. The guy from, I could recall sometime in July, August, when the guy from Newtown, the big stone come down and kill him right there from your constituency. But thank God for you. You took the initiative and you said, okay, we're going to the government headquarters and you unbudget there and you said, let us fix the Old Road Bay. And you did the Old Road Bay. So all these things you have under your belt, you are a winner man, Patrice. You are a winner man because you was doing good. Anywhere you went, you're doing good. Your hands are blessed. Your mind are blessed. Anywhere you do good, Patrice. And that's what you see. Come back on to say, we all need to pray for our Prime Minister every night. The whole federation need to pray for him because this man is trying his best. He's doing good. He's doing a tremendous job. And out of all the Prime Minister that I know in St. Kitts, he's the best by test. And I'm going to say this without water in my mouth. He is Dr. Timothy Harris is the best by test. No one could come close him. No one could come close him. The best Prime Minister here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And that's why you see I come back. I was lying down. Don't go on in my bed and I get back up and say, no, this is bothering me. I had to let this on the record. And I'm going to still say, if you all don't like my Prime Minister, continue passing me straight. And continue watching me back because I like Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris. And I will big him up. As long as I know he's doing good, I will forever big him up. See, this man is doing a tremendous job. He's doing a great job, and he's holding down the COVID good along with the task force. So I want to pick up my Prime Minister tonight. Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris, love you to the moon and back, and continue doing good for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. And I hear people saying, even if he won one again, if the people of St. Kitts and Nevis want him, we're going to send him right back into Parliament. And I said this without no water in my mouth. And I'm not going to withdraw my statement. Because when you find a good man, you hold on him. When a woman find a good man, you hold on him. When a man find a woman find somebody good, you hold on them. And when a country find a good man, you'll pray for him and you keep him up in your praise and you bear him up because indeed he's a good man. Hip hip hooray and long live in the service. You Patrice, have a good night.
Have a good night as well, dear Marshall. Always so passionate, and one can accept your views. It's hard to dispute when you look at the things that Prime Minister Harris has done in terms of economy, in terms of crime, and what's happening now in the area of health, in terms of COVID. Let's go back to the lines. Call you live.
Mr. Patrick, I'll come back and hear you, right? And when I listen to the caller there, to Martha, when the Bible says in Proverbs, whosoever findeth a wife is a favor of the Lord. So when you hear this, you say, God has to give you. You just can't go and pick it up. And that's the reason why a lot of divorce around the whole world. Because God did not give them. They pick it up. When God gives you something, that's an everlasting thing. So, everybody said, they're looking for David. But when God gives you, hold on for the word. And so, when you do anything other than that, you're in serious trouble. Judgment man is going to pick you up there. And you can't tell God nothing. Because what in the word of God you have to do? So, man or woman have to, in the Old Testament, people wait on God. In the New Testament, people suppose God is going to give, God don't give nobody nothing bad. So I am saying in Proverbs chapter 18, it says, whosoever findeth a wife findeth a good thing. And when you find a good leader, and I know this leader, God moved Douglas out of office, and Douglas is Saul. Timothy Harris is little David. I am from Consistency 7, and I know the word of God says, promotion neither come from the east, nor the west. Promotion come from above. God set up, and God pulled down. It is God put Mr. Harris there. And when David you want to kill Saul. Saul want to kill David, yes. Saul want to kill David. And look at it now. When Saul was running for his life, he ended up in a cave. And he didn't know David in there now. And when David could have killed him, but David fought Peter in mantle. And when David saw him, you know what Saul said? My David, you're better than your boy. So when people trying to bring a man who God set up, they're in serious trouble. They're in real serious trouble. So, I don't know what people saying. So, Mr. Patrick, have a pleasant night.
Okay, baby. Have a pleasant night as well, my dear brother. Yes, so correct. Promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. God is the absolute judge who puts down one, or who sets up one, I think the Bible says, and puts another one down. It's now 10 before the 10 o'clock hour. I started a bit late. Let's go straight back to the lines. Call your live.
Yes. Good evening, Honorable Patrick.
Yes, caller.
Hospital and only two doctors have
yes, you're live, caller.
And when in the bank, when you got number one, number two, we need these things to fix. Yeah. So that's why we all say we work for better. Some of us say we work for better. But with them, but God is in control. See you.
Okay, we seem to have lost that caller. Oh, my good friend gets in so often, and then some people just can't get in at all. But that's her lucky draw. But it's before hour, and we're entertaining your calls. You know, I'll take as many more calls before we wind down tonight's program. If you just join us, my Straight Talk family, or even if you join us for the first time, remember that Straight Talk is heard every Monday and Thursday night from 8 to 10 p.m. It's a program we discuss all the issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. This is the forum you can or you have available to you to discuss the issues. All we ask you is to talk the truth. Days gone by, when you spoke the truth in St. Kitts and Nevis, you always had to be prepared to stand alone. Things have changed. No longer you are to be afraid, or should you be afraid, because we ensure, we meaning the Team Unity Administration, ensure that your fundamental rights and freedoms are protected as stipulated by the Constitution. Yes, there are some people, when they hear the truth, they get angry. But there are some people who just don't want to hear the other view. That's not straight talk, and that's not what straight talk is all about. Because, you see, the program is to educate and to try to elevate our people. And I want to say there's lots of talk about Team Unity. And I remind our people that Team Unity was not born out of the political parties. It was born amongst the people. It came from the people. So Team Unity is a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. That is why Team Unity will always survive. Yes, there will be differences, because we are different people, and there will be diverse views. And some people would try to find a way to get out of, or get Team Unity out of the way. But as I said to you earlier, in the events, for those who may have just joined us, politics is a dirty game. And I mentioned in presenting our leaders, I mentioned the late Liburd, who was literally slaughtered by a rumor. And I say so in a political sense, politically slaughtered, right? I remember, and how many of us remember Liburd saying this? Some of us were probably too young, and this is from 1982, believe it or not, like 40 years ago.
You need, Mr. Speaker, because we say, where is the paper? You need now to talk about the memory of Mr. Southwell. That is what you need to do. The very people who claim to be champions of Mr. Southwell. But Mr. Southwell is dead, and dead men need no defense. But Mr. Speaker, we are alive here. And that is the point. And honorable members on the government benches are alive. Mr. Southwell is dead. Dead men need no defense, and I have no intention of defending dead men.
Yes, my straight dog family, dead men tell no tales. But this really changed the political path of a good man, Liburd, intellectual, bright man, but because of a rumor. And yes, many of us suffered from rumors. I can speak to that as well. Caller, you are live. It's now 3 before 10.
Patches, good night.
Caller?
Yes, Patches, I hear. You could hear me? Patches, good night. You could hear me, Patches? You could hear me?
Yes, we hear you loud and clear, my dear sister.
Okay, good night.
Good night, Jackie.
Prime
Yes, we hear you. Go right ahead.
Okay. Prime Minister
Yes, go
Harris
ahead.
didn't ask for a third term. It's the people say it. And if the people want him to serve a third term, you have to give the people what the people want. The good work of the man, the excellent job what the man doing, he deserves a third term. And he ain't a hard feeling. He and Sean have a very close relationship, and I would like them to keep it so. Sean is a young man. Sean will make a noise Prime Minister too. But just because of the good work, Timothy Harris, I support him for a third term. And nobody cut off me neck, eh? I step far from me when I talk. Patches, you have a safe journey home. Give the people what the people want. Timothy Harris done wonders for St. Kitts Nevis. It's the best. And Patches, you hear what I say when he had his convention? You hear what I say when I was talking? He listened to your hardship, your pain, and he take it and he turn it around and make something positive. You don't want nothing better than that. So all these negative things that people talking, he know how to turn it around and make it into something positive. Prime Minister Harris, he took experience, and that's why they can't take him for a ride. And that's why he got over them. He listened to people. Prime Minister Harris, good night. I support you for a third term. Who dead? Bye, Patty.
Well, as we said, is what the people want. The people or will be the decision makers in that regard. I am certain about that. But there's lots of time yet to come to that. Right now, the focus is on COVID, and the focus is on getting the people vaccinated. And I am certain that Dr. Harris is well focused and glued on that. He came into office when our country was one of the highest detonations in the world, and he addressed it using his skills as a PhD in accounting, and he got surplus after surplus after surplus. Then he attacked and handled or addressed the issue of crime. Recall, we were the murder capital of the world. That's nothing I'm proud to speak about, but it is a fact. It is the truth. And what happened? The peace initiative was introduced under Timothy Harris and his administration. And what's happening with crime? Talk about the reduction. Then the issue or the situation or the case of COVID. COVID brought the world to a standstill, not just in Kitts. Originated in some far place in Asia called Wuhan, China. I had to go onto my map to find out where on earth is this Wuhan in China. Remote city in China. And spread that deadly virus all around the world and brought it to a virtual halt. Sometime I think it was in early March, it was declared by the World Health Organization as a pandemic. It's never had a pandemic in nigh 100 years. The Spanish flu we can talk about. And I sat in the cabinet when decisions had to be made about COVID. They were tough, but they had to be made, and we made it as a cabinet. Caller, you're live.
Hello, you want me to get cut off? Hello?
Yes, caller.
You can't hear me? Anyway.
No,
Jacqueline,
you are
right, I
live.
agree with her.
Yes,
See
you're
you,
live.
Good night.
Yes, we're hearing you.
Let me done talk.
You know, I always tell, that lady sounds like Alice in Wonderland. And I always tell her this, no attempt to upset her. I'm gonna get Dumpling's laugh, I'm gonna get Jacqueline's laugh, and I'm gonna get your laugh. And we're gonna play them on Straight Talk one night and let the people decide which one of them is the sweetest laugh. For now, I hate to be unfair to the competitors, but I believe Dumpling's laugh, Lydia Dumpling Manager's laugh, will be the best laugh. I think my time is done. I want to apologize really for my late start tonight. I may have robbed you of some time, and for that I apologize. But my time is done, and I'm gonna run. In the process, I really want to speak to the 40 years, you know, after 40 years of wandering in the desert, the time had come for the Israelites to cross into the land that God had promised them. After leading the Israelites out of slavery in Egypt, the story goes, Moses had led them through the desert all these years, couldn't get nowhere. But God told Moses that he would not be allowed to lead the people into the promised land. Moses was an old man. He said he was going to die. I think it was 120 years, if my memory serves me well. So Moses then asked Jehovah to choose a new leader to take care of the people. Because as I said, Moses felt he was going to die. And Jehovah said to Moses, go to Joshua and tell him that he is the one. The biblical scholars would tell you, those who are theological students will also say, they know the whole story about the Jordan River, which was flooding, and as soon as the priests, as soon as the feet of the priest, as soon as the priest put his feet into the water, as soon as his feet touched the water, the river just stopped flowing, and the water disappeared, it drained away, and the whole nation of Israel crossed to the other side. And after all those years, the Israelites finally were in the promised land. They built houses, they constructed cities, they planted fields, vineyards, orchards, say it all. The land was flowing, as the Bible account goes, with milk and honey. And in the book of Isaiah, sums it up all. It says that Jehovah will always lead you and satisfy you, even in a parched land. So my Straight Talk family, I'm going to leave you tonight with these words of Comrade Ralph Gonzalez, who reminded the world, even in is times of tribulation there in St. Vincent. Before, because of COVID, he could not pay the salaries of his civil servants. And one thing we must remember when we all are talking, in St. Kitts and Nevis, every single civil servant has been paid, never 1 month or 1 day short since COVID. People do have their jobs. Those in the hotel industry, through no fault of the government, lost their jobs because the country came to a halt. The aircraft weren't flying, cruise ships weren't coming. Yet some people, you understand, do not want to get themselves protected, get themselves immunized, to get back into the industry that brings them their bread. So my Straight Dog family, I want to leave you with these words of Ralph Gonzalez. Let us walk humbly with our God.
But I want to give you and your viewers, your listeners, the idea as to how we proceed. Every single person who is up there is of value to us. I sent the Coast Guard in the northeastern area on 3 separate occasions for a young man who is 19 years old, who I learned was still up there. And he was not, he has some slight mental challenges, and we got him out. And you know, I told the commander of the Coast Guard on the 3rd occasion when I asked him to go, I said, this young man is a symbol of our humanity. He is a manifestation of our love, our faith, and our hope. Everyone is valuable, and we want to protect and take care of everyone. What does the good Lord require of us? To do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with our God. Whether you're
walk humbly with our God. Do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with our God. The story was a young man, 19 years, mentally challenged, but they meant, and Commonwealth was adamant that they should rescue him from the roaring volcano, because he was a symbol of humanity. What do you say, my Straight Dog family, in terms of walking humbly with our God? That's the way I'm going to leave you tonight, because my time is done. I got to run. Don't you move your dial, though, because Albert Bradley is already in the house, and he plays some oldie goldies. How those vinyl records still work, I don't know, Albert. That's why you don't want to change the systems there. I want to thank Bevan Wilkinson. I want to thank John James, those technical gurus in the background. Without them, there's no Straight Dog. But I want to thank, first of all, Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight, and as always, I want to thank you, the callers. Those of you who listened on social media, those of you who are in contact by whatever means, or whatever medium I should say, but more in particular those on the big bad ZIZ radio, the nation station. Without you, there is no Straight Talk. So I want to say, until we connect on Thursday, be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. Have the best of what's left of the rest of tonight. My Straight Dog family there on the ferry terminal, Jasmine, Kelly, Sasha Marley, Susie, the whole crew down near the ferry terminal. My good brother Spanky there on George Street, Shelly, Rambo, and the whole gang there at East Bass there, Wally, Carrie, Tan, and all of the gang as well, the executive. Until we connect on Thursday, remember, have yourselves what's left, the rest of what's left of tonight, and saying happy birthday again to Ivy Batties whenever it comes, to Pauline Mussenden, and also to Lillian Brown, all those in the 90s, not Pauline, but the rest are in the 90s. But remember, whatever your mind conceives, that you will achieve. But first of all, you've got to believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And keep moving on. Nurse, on Bond Extension, and even on the gang as well. Have yourselves a wonderful night. Until we connect on Thursday, keep moving on the street of family. Bye-bye.
Take me through each day, my God, to keep